Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken DAO and hanging out here with the rest of the core team. And this is our weekly core team planning session where we come together, kind of lay down what we're planning here for the next week so that we can get things done because we like getting things done. We've got some really exciting things. And let me go ahead and bring open the agenda here for today's event. So we're going to hop right in. We've only got 45 minutes. One of the things that we ran out of time during last week's core team planning call was actually scheduling, implementing Coordinate. And one of the things that it looked like that we're going to do after the conclusion of this is just hop right in and actually do that. So that's super exciting. And I've got a video. I'll update the agenda and circulate that is from one of the crypto YouTube people, Gabriel Hines. He's also one of the founding 100 at Creator DAO. So super excited to watch his overview. And there's going to be more content coming down the pipeline from the Creator DAO team as far as Coordinate, using some case studies and like that of how other DAOs are utilizing Coordinate. So super excited. This is one of the things that we have committed to you all is to get the rewards distribution done faster. So that's one of the things that I'll actually be doing here later tonight is a Sunday night REtoken airdrop for and one of the things I don't have on the agenda here is the DAO Global Hackathon, and that's one of the things that we had an amazing strategy call. How many people were on that here earlier in the week, Tyler? Do you remember?
We had 18 on the first one.
Nice. So, and that what day did we have that? Let me see. I've got the.
I feel like it was last Tuesday, but I'm not sure.
It's been a long week. Let's take a look here at the REtoken calendar. This is actually the best way here, our Google Calendar, and we have that linked, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that everybody can see it here. We have that on our Discord here. Let me bring that open so that everybody can take a look here on our events channel. So we have our events, and I don't know if anybody's watching in the audience, but we love engagement here. So it is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. I had a cool little image up here. So this is like a crypto Halloween. You can see some Bitcoin and Ethereum logos. I think this was on alpha.cash's website. Don't know anything about them. I just like their little Halloween image here. So thank you, Alpha Cash, for letting me borrow that here for the live stream. So anyway, our DAO Global Hackathon, and looking at the calendar, I was wanting to show everybody where they could access the calendar in our Discord. We have our events channel. This is the notification that just popped in here for this current event. And we also have the Google Calendar, like if you go to pins, and you can see right here, super easy, Google Calendar, add that to your calendar so that you can stay apprised. Because that's right now the easiest way is to hop on here. And taking a look at our agenda, one of the things that we've got here is the improve the REtoken onboarding. And I was laughing here, Blurs, when you updated your Discord nickname with the circle back. So I was just getting ready to say circle back, and I just thought of your updated nickname. So well done, sir. So implement the Coordinate working group. So that's, again, it looks like that we're going to be doing that immediately after this. And so anybody that's watching this, feel free to, and we'll probably do that via Discord, just to potentially engage some additional people on that. So one of the other things here that's super excited about is the Polygon ecosystem DAO. And oh, here's Amy. Let me bring up Amy. So happy Sunday, Amy. Welcome to the core team call. We are just barely getting started. So one of the things that we were talking about here earlier is we all have time at the end of this for, what was it, Blurs? 1 hour. You said you're good till 4 Central?
Yep.
Yeah, so 1 hour after the core team call concludes, if my math is correct, and I think that will be some really solid to actually move the coordinate forward. And then if there's some questions that we have from that, then we can potentially schedule a round 2 of that. And that's one of the things too that that we can play by ear. Historically, most of our working groups have been 2 hours, but sometimes it might make sense to dial that back a bit. So the other thing here that we were just starting to talk about is the Polygon ecosystem DAO. So that Polygon is a key component of REtoken, because that's who we created our security token on Coinvice. And I'll actually bring open our Coinvice profile here in my REtoken DAO profile. So let me do that here, coinvice.co, and we're /REtoken DAO. So, oh, I've got to log in there. I'm not even going to worry about that. I'll just look at it in this window, just so that you can see the profile. So we actually do the airdrops. I was talking about doing an airdrop here later today, and I'll send an announcement out in Discord. It's kind of a fun thing. Actually did that a week ago, today here, last Sunday, did a REtoken airdrop, which you can find on our, whatever channel you're coming in. I'm sure that went live on that as well. So the Polygon ecosystem DAO, that's how Polygon is significant. And then also on tokentown.net, which is our current flagship project. And this is our founding citizen NFT, which does get minted on Polygon when you go through the process of acquiring the founding citizen for 1 Ethereum. And this is what that looks like. I've got a video on our channel here too. And you can see right here, Polygon and the 1 wrapped Ethereum. So not going to go into detail on that, but Polygon does play a key component in our infrastructure from a token standpoint for running our DAOs. All right, so where does this fit into the conversation though? So Polygon ecosystem is just getting started here, and we're gonna go through, and this is something that I wanted to open up, and I would be surprised if anybody is opposed to this, but they have a grant request system through this dedicated form on this forum, which I have linked in our agenda for today's call, if you want to do some more research on that afterwards. And then the other thing that's very exciting too is that there's a partnership with Creator DAO. Poopster and Mrs. Yonks and I are engaged with Creator DAO. We're also a founding 100 there. Creator DAO is a content marketing agency for the DeFi space. So super excited about seeing where this can go. Like, one of the things that we're just barely starting to talk about is the virtual summit coming up here in Q1, probably February, on the tail end of ETH Denver. We'll be talking increasingly about that here in the coming weeks leading up to next year. I guess it's getting closer and closer, unfortunately, but that's what happens. Time flies. So what does everybody think? Are you excited about this opportunity with the Polygon ecosystem and the grants that they have? I mean, I'm gonna stop talking and hear what you all think.
I think it's great. The more exposure we can get, the better. We just entered another hackathon, and we're gaining a lot of credibility. And the CEO of Cred Create called Jason talking to Jeff Bezos in 1994, so that was a super fun compliment. So yeah, I think we should totally go for it.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for us.
And I thought it would be fun to just take a look here on the form. And this is how well that this is already queued up for us. So looking here at their Discord, we actually already have a channel in their Discord that's called Token Town. So, and this was this channel was created by Grindel, and you can see some of the conversation. And this is something here that is like 2 weeks ago, and just from a timing standpoint, this is now surfaced. So let's move that forward. So I'm going to fill out the form. I don't necessarily think that we need to do that here during this particular. And here's where I'm going to circle back, Blurs, if we have time during this core team call that we can circle back here on the tail end of doing that. But I do want to keep moving forward with some of our other agenda. Does that sound like a solid plan?
Sure. Great.
Right on. Okay, so getting back to my agenda here, again, the Google Calendar for REtoken is posted there. And let's see, I think it's over here. No, let's close this one. Oh yes, here it is. All right, so we'll leave this tab open and keep on going with the agenda. So again, improve REtoken onboarding. This was identified during a content working group that we had as far as the biggest opportunity that we have. We did make some changes to our Discord, and we're going to continue to make changes and improvements to our Discord. So one of the things, we do have a channel here on our Discord. It's and I would encourage everybody to use this, like the suggestions channel, and I'll post in here, or not post, but this is where we love hearing feedback, and that's one of the things that we're also looking at doing that we discussed during the previous week. I still have a pending action item to send everybody here on the core team an invite to Airtable, because we're looking at utilizing an Airtable form as a part of our onboarding process. And this is something too, the one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and that we've already been talking a little bit about, and let's see, I think the thread got archived. Let me unarchive this here. So develop onboarding quest. So, and I'll just make a post in here. This is something that we, again, are discussing during core team planning call. So has anybody been, that's on the call right now, has anybody been through any type of onboarding quests in like any other experiences that they've had with Web3 or other DAOs or crypto projects or anything like that?
No, Quest, not at all. No, it's brand new to me.
And it's kind of like, a good way to think of it, I guess, is the gamification of life or learning, or however that you want to do that. And we've talked a little bit about Rabbit Hole, and part of the reason that it showed up again on the radar is that I saw Rabbit Hole sent a tweet. I'm going to make this tweet bigger here so that everybody can see that. So this is significant because DAO House is another DAO framework, and that's one that highly have been considering for an investment club aspect. So this is one that I was actually wanting to do, and I can't remember. And I since we've talked a little bit, and I'm going to pause that thought here to keep this conversation going, because they have a really cool NFT that you can do, that you can obtain by going through this quest process. And that's one of the things. There was another one too that I thought was pretty cool on their, like right here, only 500 rewards left. So this is something. Oh, and that's the DAO House. So I'll have to get cracking on that, because I would definitely have an immediate interest. So I'll let everybody know what that looks like. I'll probably create a opportunity thread on the Discord server here for that. I'll actually just do that here real quick. So go down the rabbithole.gg with their DAO House quest. And let's, I'll put a link to this tweet in here too. Let's see. And this is something that we'll use this thread here to share the journey of going down the rabbit hole. And the thought of this is, instead of us just having internally to our own culture, Discord, whatever you want to call it here, our own community for REtoken, by having this, like potentially us creating a quest for REtoken in Rabbit Hole, that provides a win for us because they've got a really nice, well done and pretty well perfected quest process that they've been expanding and building on for a while. But then the other opportunity too is that they have a decently large and increasingly large community. I mean, like right now they have 21,000 followers on Twitter, and they are increasingly gaining exposure to within what they're doing too. So they're really looking to partner with other crypto communities to, you know, because that provides a win for them and then a win for us. So how does everybody, what's everybody's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, as you know, I'm always concerned that we may overcomplicate things by adding more and more integrations. But I am definitely curious about this, but I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to derail this, but I'm still a little confused. What's a DAO house versus rabbit hole? I kind of missed that.
Yeah, and let me actually let's actually just go to Rabbit Hole's website real quick here. So DAO House is a DAO framework that is exceptionally well positioned for investment clubs. And let's do rabbithole.gg here.
I just like the name because it reminds me of Bauhaus.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've heard of Moloch DAO.
Nope.
So let's see if they've got a link. Okay, they've got a link to, so DAOhouse.club. So this is also, like, when you think of what we're using right now, and what we're using right now for our governance is snapshot.org. We have used this for REtoken, you can see here, and then also have a couple other DAOs. So used REtoken, or have used Snapshot. It's very easy to set up. And also I understand that DAO House, I don't know if DAO House is on Polygon, but they are also on a stablecoin XDAI, which may even be more potentially easy as far as maintaining a cost basis, because similar to Polygon, XDAI is another L2 chain from Ethereum to make the cost, but it's more a stable coin by design, where Polygon / Matic is not. So, and I don't know if I have any DAOs that I could, and let me see if I can find one real quick here.
Amy got bumped out.
Oh, here she is. Yeah, I see her. Thanks. Welcome back, Amy. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Blurs. So yeah, it's a let me see what the app looks like, because I think I've got a couple DAOs in here that I've put on here. So here's some featured DAOs. I've connected my MetaMask wallet to this. So, and it's again just an increasing amount of DAOs are also using this, and I think it provides more of an all-in-one type of a dashboard experience compared to what we get here. It's pretty, I mean, it accomplishes the goal of having a inexpensive, or no cost mechanism for voting. That's the huge benefit of snapshots. So because there may be a slight cost of voting on chain, whereas snapshot is an off chain voting mechanism, if that makes sense. So, but that's something that I do think that there you get some potential synergies from, like with our home and the investment clubs having a little bit more synergy within a more of a conclusive ecosystem, I guess is a good way to describe it. But and that's again the benefit of using like a quest type of a dynamic, that we can have a better understanding of what they're providing and stuff like that. I'm personally very much an experiential learner, so like I kind of like getting in and just setting stuff up and seeing, and having and that's the nice thing too about like the framework that we've created. Like if we find a better framework that, like, oh my gosh, this provides such a better member experience to our community. And that's some of the benefits of us having some different DAOs that might make sense to, kind of experiment with, where we don't have to like do that with REtoken, if that makes sense. So, and that was a decent tangent from the underlying, which is to improve the REtoken onboarding experience. So this improving the REtoken onboarding will be something that I think that we should continue to bring up until we really feel comfortable with how that's getting or dialed in, and then maybe we could review that on a quarterly basis. So. But I'm personally going to go down the rabbit hole with this DAO house, because that's one that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, I will share the journey here on this forum thread. So, and I'll ping at Core Team discussing this via our Core Team planning call today. So I will share the journey here. All right. So any other final thoughts on rabbit hole and the REtoken onboarding experience? I mean, if I find that it doesn't make sense, blurs, I'll share that with you, but I don't want to be the only voice doing this. There's a lot of quests with one of the other things too. I think that as a part of rabbit hole's onboarding experience, you connect with Bright ID, and I've done a Google search on Bright ID versus Proof of Humanity before, and I'm pretty sure that they utilize Bright ID, and this is one that they recently went through, and it may make sense. Like if we really like everything about Bright ID, it may make sense for us to integrate that into our project REtoken as well. But that's another conversation that not going to circle back on today. Final thoughts on improving the, well, it's not going to be final. Like I said, I want to keep on talking about the REtoken onboarding.
Sounds good. Let's do the next one.
Alrighty. So we've spoken about the ambassador program, and this is one that we basically, I think we agreed to send it through the voting proposal process, just haven't done that yet. And then also do some additional research on ambassador programs. So I think that this is one that I'm very excited about. I think that this is one that we should also, on the tail end of this, or when we're talking about setting up Coordinate, like the way that I understand Coordinate is you have circles, which is kind of like their lingo for teams. And a good way to think of that is it's also like a budgeting mechanism for the rewards distribution, which is one of the main functionalities that Coordinate provides. And I'm thinking that the ambassador program can be such an important component of laying a solid foundation for the growth that I know that we can and should have for the Real Estate DAO. That I think that that's one of a couple circles that we should make when we're setting up Coordinate here out of the gate. So and I think that I've asked that before. Just out of curiosity, did anybody do any additional research on ambassador programs?
Not yet.
No.
So and that's one, and I can't remember. Let me do a quick search on Discord. So this is another thing too that I'm excited about, working on having some more content in our Discord. The Discord search feature works amazing. So just doing a search here for ambassador, and I mean you can see how quickly that came up. And yeah, so this is how much that we've been talking. Like, this is one of the things that we even had this mentioned in a proposal for our roadmap item for doing a regulation crowdfunding offering. And so that's something that we've even put as a proposal on Snapshot. And I think that the ambassador / the meetup.com strategy pairs really well. So that's one of the things too that, and I don't know if we want to create some REtoken, so that we can incentivize ourselves to do some research on this so that we can actually have something to talk about next week. What does everybody think about that? Doing a 25 REtoken reward that we can put out here so that we can actually have something solid to talk about on some other ambassador programs?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, let's do that right now so that I won't have to put a next action for that. So, and this is one of the things too here, Mrs. Yonks, Tyler, that we can look at getting cleaned up. As you can see, this is some of the backlog here still from REtoken. But if we could schedule some time to work on getting this cleaned up, that would be fabulous.
You and me or the whole core team?
Yeah,
I was thinking that would be a good conversation with me, you, and Crush. I mean, anybody else is welcome on that. I don't want to exclude people from hopping into some house cleaning, but and that's one of the opportunities. I mean, we've got so many things that we're doing right now. People that want to get involved, and this is one of the things to go back to the improving the REtoken onboarding process, that if you have some particular skills or wanting to get engaged, reach out to myself or Mrs. Yonk so that we can get you plugged in. And that's one of the things that we're going to be incorporating into our onboarding process, is really finding out how that you would like to contribute to our community, because we have so many opportunities to I mean, we've got so many things that to do. So anyway, let me add this here real quick. Research ambassador programs, and we'll do a 25 REtoken for this.
Amy or Blurs, do you want that?
Well, and this is one I don't want to exclude to one person, but I am going to put some people on here. I'm going to join this myself, but who else wants to participate on this one?
I can help.
I can help.
That's
All right.
a bit out of my wheelhouse, but I am curious that we probably need to define what the roles are of the ambassadors before we define a program around it.
No, I agree absolutely, and this is something that will break out into some working groups here right now. Like, I kind of want this to be an ongoing conversation. We still have efforts that we need to do on our DAO Global Hackathon. So I want the DAO Global Hackathon from a working group standpoint to take some priority. Now, what talking about here on the ambassador programs is just seeing what other people are doing. I started, and let me actually I'm going to bring this one up to the top so everybody can see it. And I started putting a little bit of research together here somewhere. Let me do a search for ambassador on here.
So Blurs, one of the things that some of these discords from crypto and some of them from our stock trading discords and some of them from our game playing ones. I mean, it's different discords and different ones. The ambassador programs look different, but it's usually some version of a guide who's identified you can ask questions to. And so part of it's an automated process saying, click here to accept the rules, click here to do this, and kind of an automated onboarding. And then there's usually some high touch. When I was moderating our game, I used to just send everybody a personal Discord message saying, hey, welcome. Like, we're glad you're here. If you have any questions, it was a copy and pasted message, but it was just one more touch that wasn't automated. So I've started doing that recently with everybody that jumps into the REtoken server saying, hey, this is what we've got going on. You know, make sure you read the start here page because it's got lots of content. I'm here if you need questions, that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's more of a
I don't know if
community
that's
lead within the
better
Discord side.
way, but that's kind of some stuff we're looking at.
So more of a community lead on the Discord side, but I think you're talking about like meetups and such too.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and that's the thing, Blurs, is that there might be an online ambassador compared to like people that want to be like real estate professionals that want to position themselves as real estate tokenization experts and really see the opportunity that real estate tokenization provides and the opportunity to connect into REtoken, where we're a community owned and operated DAO, where we're looking to really be the leaders in creating real estate tokenization processes. And that's one of the things that we'll also be talking about. I don't want to go off board, but you know, and to kind of go off on a slight tangent, I did volunteer with Creator DAO. This has been a topic of conversation at Creator DAO as well. They're having a lot of growth, much more. They're probably, from a DAO standpoint, I think that they're like a 4-month-old DAO. And REtoken, we just formed as a DAO, as a Wyoming DAO LLC on July 26th. We're barely over 3 months old here, so very, very much a startup community still. And then so I'm going to be helping with the onboarding experience. Tyler and I already personally here with our starting involvement with DAOists. We've been through their onboarding process. They have a much higher touch onboarding process. And I think that we spoke about like their onboarding form during last week's core team planning call. So, I mean, we can define our ambassador program however we want, and it can be an ongoing, work in progress, but it might be multifaceted. But we want to feel people like definitely help people feel more welcome here, and then really find out how that people are willing and or able from their skill sets that they have to contribute.
So this would also tie into the rabbit hole and everything too, then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And and the thing about the rabbit hole, they've got a quest framework. I already shared over here. Let me see if I can find where that was. Let me do a search on our Discord for quest. So yeah, this is one that I think I just spoke about here today. And let me see if I pinged everybody in this one. So yeah, so that I've got a link here, and this is what I was wanting to, because Coinvice has quests and bounties, so that's another potential opportunity. Already spoke a little bit about Coinvice. Coinvice is the social token platform that we minted our social tokens on and do our airdrops on. So the opportunity to potentially post a bounty there for our onboarding quest, just provides more funnels potentially for people to come into our community with. So going back to the research, the idea here with the researching the ambassador programs is, again, I'm not a fan of necessarily reinventing the wheel. So the opportunity for us to borrow some things, and then I've already gotten in here is in this REtoken Ambassador program, which is a Trello card under our projects list. Let's see where, so projects, right here. I've got that at the second card, REtoken Ambassador program. I'm going to go ahead and join this and put myself and Amy and Tyler on that, since we're raised our hands for researching the ambassador. So this has some links here. So like this is one that I already provided or did a little bit of research on. I might even join the Polkadot Ambassador program myself. That's one of my favorite third gen blockchain projects. Not going to go off on that tangent right now as to why. But yeah, so that's the ambassador program. And again, we've talked a little bit about the DAO Global Hackathon, and still wanting that to be a higher priority, because from what I understand, it's not as all the way to the December 13th. It's kind of like a two-phased dynamic where it's the bounties that exist, and then there's going to be like a second round of bounties during this open lanes situation. One of the other things that I didn't have on the agenda that I saw here real quick is this Opportunity Zone Expo. And this is something that Tyler and I have had a little bit of conversation with the other person about. With the time that we have here today, this is something that we can take offline, but they do have a spooky ticket deal right now. And they, where this is relevant is Tokentown, Colorado is going to be an Opportunity Zone project. Like the two main criteria that we've really functionally decided is number one, Colorado, number two, Opportunity Zone. And the reason for the Opportunity Zone provides additional capital that we can tap into through qualified opportunity funds. So going back to our agenda here.
Oh, wait,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, just went through that event a little bit too fast. So we have Tokentown, Colorado as one of the candidates. Is that what you said?
That's where I was going to take that conversation offline. We have an opportunity to participate in America's pitch competition. It does have a dollar component associated with it, one of which is getting a professional video done. So that would be more of a longer conversation. So we can forward we'll forward the details via email. And I think that would be the best way. And I think he said there's 12 slots, and I think he said that there's 4 left.
And the deadline is?
I think it's pretty soon here.
It's coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, we can go over all the details with you guys in another call. I know we only got 5 minutes left here.
Yeah, and having the collateral as far as seeing the price associated with it, where I thought that it might make sense is if we could potentially use that video that would be created for the submission for the next phase of the American Made Solar Prize, because having a more professionally done video could be potentially worth the cost associated with that, and then just the additional exposure that we could get for our project as well.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, and we'll have, because I think it's like, and we'll have the details in the email that we'll forward out, so we can read more into that, and we can probably, I think it probably makes sense to, and I don't know. Let me look at our calendar here. So next week, yeah, we'll take a look at the email, and then we'll have some conversation in the core team chat on that.
Okay, sounds good. My dog got out of her crate apparently. Sorry, a little distracted.
No, that's all good. So one of the other things too is a live stream tool, and this is something that we've already personally seen that there's some challenges with the mobile features of StreamYard. It doesn't work very well on mobile, and Restream.io has a Halloween special that they're promoting. And I don't know if let's see right here, learn more. So this is something that may make sense for us. And I was talking to Tyler about that. And this is something, and I don't know if we could potentially do the upsell, but the opportunity of using something that might provide better functionality on the mobile experience. Because I think one of the opportunities of this, besides the live stream, is also Tyler and I are wanting to be more intentional about getting our podcast, REtoken live stream podcast, fired up here. And I believe that these tools may be easier for facilitating that conversation with and I don't know if this, I think, is one of the biggest differentiators where we could use like either Zoom or OBS. A lot of people that do post-production, because I think it provides a higher quality on the post-production, especially for a podcast. So that's something that just wanted to briefly talk about as far as, go ahead, Blurs.
It's just an elevator pitch. What is it offering that StreamYard isn't? Is it cheaper?
I think that this is the biggest one, is the compatibility with third-party streaming software, because we all know that. Okay. Yeah, so we all know that Zoom has a fabulous mobile experience, and StreamYard has definitely been challenging, as in not working very well on a mobile experience. Okay. So
I second that.
Yeah, I know, Amy, that you've been the.
I've been kicked out like 10 times.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, and the thought is to like, and I don't know if we could potentially like revert that, but and that's something that we can figure out too, because like I'm using the StreamYard for other stuff right now. We could take that offline, but that's something that I love getting deals and the opportunity to, save a good amount of money here. I think it was like up to 31% off. Yeah, 31% off for this. So it's probably the time of year that they run their annual deal. So and that's anytime that we see some situations come up like this that makes sense. One of the other tools that we have spoken a little bit about that is still on the shelf, wanting to still prioritize more stuff with GetBook, and I still have an action item with that, is because I don't even think I've sent everybody some login details for that, but Mighty Networks, and it seemed like that there was another community that had started looking at that had a Mighty Networks, and I can't remember which one that was, but and that might be another opportunity with our ambassador program.
I think it was Planner DAO. I think they had Mighty Networks.
No, there was another one that just showed up on my radar. I definitely know that Planner DAO, and that's one that also that Tyler and I are going to explore, just for like. And I think I mentioned that planning on getting my Series 65 securities license so that we can become an accredited investor due to a recent change that the SEC or FINRA made on their accredited investor laws. So the time is up. We had treasury management on here, and this is really a conversation that was wanting to have with Poopster. Since we are talking about treasury management, I just wanted to show everyone real quick here the REtoken treasury, what it provides a little better experience what we're talking about here. And so this is the REtoken DAO Gnosis safe that we've got set up, and this is the stuff that we're talking about. So right now we have 3,500 US dollar coins and 200 UMA, and the 200 UMA is something that we would really like to start voting on, and that's really where Poopster was going to fill in some of the details on that. So we'll kick that one down to forward that to next week's core team planning call. One other thing that I wanted to bring up that wasn't on the agenda is the operating agreement. And are we okay to go over a little bit here?
Sure.
Fine.
It's just cutting into our coordinate.
I know.
Yeah.
And
That's
this is important. This is one that I wanted to have on the agenda that didn't. And we've had multiple conversations about our operating agreement in the past. I think that there's still one aspect, and I can't even remember why that I called this version 0.31. And this is on our GitHub repo under legal. And this is something that we agreed would be the easiest way for us having our, let me make this full screen so that everybody can see it and keep on blowing this up a little bit here. So this is just kind of some easy copy and paste stuff that I took from some other places. This notice of restrictions on duties and transfers is one of the components that already exists within our articles of organization. And I am going to digress momentarily here because tomorrow going to be sending in the updated articles of organization on this REtoken improvement process number 4, RIP 4, to update the REtoken articles of organization. And this is the verbiage that is getting updated here that is changing our articles of organization from a member managed to an algorithmically managed. And the reason that I brought this up is because of this line right here. The notice of restrictions on duties and transfers appears in the operating agreement. So this is just some copy and paste verbiage from one of the Wyoming supplements, this paragraph right here. And I'm going to just read it here real quick. The rights of members in a decentralized autonomous organization may differ materially from the rights of members in other limited liability companies. The Wyoming Decentralized Autonomous Organization Supplement underlying smart contracts, articles of organization, and operating agreement, if applicable, of a decentralized autonomous organization may define, reduce, or eliminate fiduciary duties and may restrict transfer of ownership interests, withdrawal, or resignation from the decentralized autonomous organization, return of capital contributions, and dissolution of the decentralized autonomous organization. So again, that's copy and paste, I believe, from this article right here. And since it was functionally required to have it within this, and this is something that whenever created the original articles, which have a screenshot here on, it's also a post on Twitter. I can't remember if this links to the Twitter post. No, it doesn't. Either way, you can find the articles of organization as they are filed very openly on the Wyoming Secretary of State if anybody likes doing some side research. But this is one of the things too on the withdrawal of members, and this is just some very easy verbiage that I added, where I just said if any member chooses to entirely withdraw from REtoken, they may send their entire REtoken balance to, and this is our Gnosis Safe, our Polygon Gnosis Safe. I just showed you the one that's on mainnet, and over here on Polygon we also have one that has our, looks very funny full screen. So our Polygon one, this is one that has half of our REtoken treasury in it. We still have the other half on our Coinvice account. That's another conversation though. So going back to the operating agreement, this was a very easy term that I put where, you know, if somebody's like, hey, bye-bye or whatever. And that's one of the things too, to kind of go back to the DAO House. I think that DAO House has some rage quit function built into their framework, which is functionally, I think, Moloch DAO version 2. And then I just provided some additional context here, and then a version history. So this is something that I think that we could potentially schedule a breakout 1-hour conversation on. And I don't know if we want to do that now, or if we wanted to do that, allocate a time during next week's core team planning call. I think that we've got plenty of stuff to do this week, but I'm open for feedback from whomever. This is something that we need, in my opinion, to get in place here very soon, because we really need to start exploring some bank account situations, because assuming that we progress through the American Made Solar Prize and win one of the prizes, we need to provide them a bank account where they can send in our prize money in that, because I'm pretty sure that the US Department of Energy isn't going to be able to pay us in stable coin to one of our wallet addresses. So the question is, do we want to schedule that now, or do we want to talk about it again next week and schedule it for the following week?
I think you need to set up the bank account as soon as possible in case we win. They might need to transfer it right away. I don't know how the government works with that, but at least if we're ready, we're ready.
Yeah, let me see if I have any card on here, because that might be another opportunity for somebody to earn some additional REtoken. Is I don't have a short list of crypto banks that are friendly right now, and I can post some things here. Let's see, crypto bank. Side note, I did open up a personal on Juno here. I don't think that they have a business account, but this was by far, let's see, I think this is just, I think that these are just consumer accounts, but this was, I just opened up a personal account here, and this was the easiest account that I had opened up. I don't know if they support business accounts. I'll ping on their Discord. They've got a Discord server as well, so I'll ask on that. But just a side thought here. So on, I do agree on we do need to get a bank account opened up as soon as possible. That being said, we need to get this legal agreement or operating agreement, at least something that we feel comfortable saying, hey, here's our operating agreement as it exists. We've had some conversation, and I don't know if we want to tie up, because at the end of the day, like that's just kind of the bank checking a box. I mean, we need to have some place. There needs to be more meat in our operating agreement than we have right now, for sure. But we need to do that before because before we've had some conversation about engaging some attorneys. I mean, we even have right here possible attorneys for DAO LLC operating agreement. So my thoughts are, I would prefer to schedule just a time where we can finalize on what the team feels comfortable with moving forward our current process, and then we could still explore potential attorneys with various things that we've got going on. I would rather incorporate some of our other projects into, and not just make it about our DAO LLC operating agreement, if that makes sense.
What type of attorney do we need? Because I requested a list of attorneys that are in the NFT space, because there was one in Clubhouse that was saying that he got a list, and I might forward that to you when I get the email so you can choose. I don't know which attorneys you're looking for.
So somebody that we've got a Wyoming DAO LLC, so somebody that can, potentially say, yes, this will work as an operating agreement. And based upon my experience, I would rather not have legalese. I don't like legalese, and there's no requirement that we have legalese within our operating agreement. If we can find an attorney that can say, review what we create and potentially add some more things that we might have missed, and then say, here's some other stuff that you have, but I don't I personally don't want to pay an attorney to just like completely scrap what we've got and then come up with like some legalese 20-page document that we can't, because we need to have a document or an operating agreement that we can have and then update with some minor changes or adjustments over time. Not something with that's my thoughts anyway.
I'm not a lawyer, but I get a little concerned if we're going to avoid legalese, because it's legalese for a reason. Just in case might be holes, and if we use plain language, I don't know. I mean, even my, my will and family trust and all that stuff, that's all in legalese.
Yeah, and this is a very different space too. I mean, like that's the thing. There's like literally no precedence for this. We're operating under a new entity type that Wyoming just made here literally earlier in the year. The Wyoming DAO LLC law went into effect July 1st. So, and then like I think the other thing that so going back here, my thoughts are, and I still think that we should explore conversations. My concern is that like with the timing, like, I don't think it'll be until 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, probably 5 or 6 weeks until there's a determination on the American-made solar prize, but it does take some time to open up a bank account. Like we don't even have a short list of crypto-friendly bank accounts right now. So my preference is I would rather get more stuff into our existing operating agreement and then have like 1 hour conversation on something that we could feel comfortable with, engage in continue to seek out potential attorneys, and then like we can update the operating agreement based upon whatever direction that we decide to go through with the attorney engagement. Because I think that there will be multiple opportunities with bounties and other situations that we can create to create revenue here, where we'll have much more than the 3,500 stable coin that we've got in our treasury right now to work with. And I don't want to spend a lot of money for attorneys, but we haven't even had any conversations yet to really narrow down what we're wanting to include within that conversation either. So I would be quite okay scheduling like a 1 hour working group on the operating agreement for this week. That's kind of the direction that I'm wanting to go with approaching this, just again, so that we can get our bank account opened up.
Can I ask you a question? Does it have to be a crypto bank? Is that a necessity? I'm not sure what the crypto.
No, but
bank.
I mean, we're obviously crypto centric. That we're a decentralized autonomous organization, so it needs to be some bank that will allow us to open up a bank account as a decentralized, as a DAO.
Okay, but still we can accept the money that the Department of Energy will be sending, if so, right? In that bank account.
No, it'll be a traditional bank account with I mean, they'll probably wire ACH or wire the money over. They may send a check. I have no idea what the payment methodology is going to be, but it is going to be in REtoken DAO LLC. So the project, when shifted that from me being the team captain to REtoken DAO LLC being the team captain, that was done with us needing to get a bank account being done, because the team captain has to match the bank account. So I just created a Trello card here for researching bank accounts that allow DAOs. I know you love research. Is this one that you want to take on, Amy?
Yeah, just DM it to me so I remember to do it. I have so many things going on, but just private email me or DM me and let me know so I can get it
Okay.
done.
Okay. Sounds good. And as far as scheduling this, is this something that we want to schedule for this week, or or like reviewing or finalize? And I don't even want to call it finalizing. I would say just get like what we could feel comfortable saying, hey, here's, because one of the other things going back to our document is I would really like to incorporate an elimination of fiduciary duties and responsibilities into here. And that's one of the biggest things that I would like to see added. I also think that it would be good to add a core team as far as who is on the core team, and then also a section about our Gnosis safe multi-sig signers. And like the thing about this is it doesn't have to be a finalized document. It can be, and this is one of the things I'm really wanting it to be, a work in progress where we can have a solid place where we can have some legal recourse here for some of the key components of operating our, I mean, it's called an operating agreement for a reason. And then just getting a process or workflow where that this can be, a component of us maintaining a growing and thriving organization that we're all creating here together. And to go back to the legalese conversation, Blurs, the reason that I get concerned with having legalese in there is that, again, I don't want, like, anytime that we want to do like a minor adjustment where we feel like we have to reach out to an attorney and engage an attorney at $300 to $1,000 an hour.
The other thing that's nice about not having legalese is that if you write it in really plain language, people either agree to it or they don't. But there isn't a, well, I thought we got to figure out what the definition of is. There's none of that. It says like we're doing this, we're not doing that. And if you have questions about this, ask us before you sign anything and get clarification. And then since it's going to be an open source document to our community, we can always vote on changes and just change them if we need to.
So that being said, we can take that offline because we're already 20 minutes over here, and I want to move on with the coordinate conversation. So before we wrap it up, is there anything else that we needed to bring up here during our weekly planning session? This is we're going into week 44 here, which I guess means that there's tomorrow's November 1st, so 2 months left, 8 weeks left of the month. So final thoughts, everybody? Anybody?
I just have a question. When is Crush meeting for the hackathon? I don't think I saw any of that in the core chat.
Yeah, and that's where we really need to get some direction figured out, because right now the two projects that we've submitted on, I believe, and I can't remember, I think we might have started the superfluid. So I think we've started as a team now, 3 bounties, and that's something that we'll take offline. Unfortunately, Crush wasn't able to make it, and I don't know if that's because assisting with the Poopsters travel plans or whatever. But we'll figure that out and get that on the schedule here for this week so that we can move that forward. We really need, I think, to figure out what the next steps are, because 2 of the 3 bounties that we've submitted for as a team are with Tally, and that's like, let me show you here with Tally. Yeah, with tally.com. So we're wanting to get our project for REtoken listed on here on with Tally, and then also the one for Token Town, Colorado, which we're managing via an NFT. So we'll figure that out, get that scheduled, and that's one of the things that I still am needing to do better. And this is, again, an opportunity for people that like doing project management stuff, that want to take on more of those types of roles, getting our events on the calendar. So like looking here at our next week, our calendar's blank, and that's one of the things I'm going to prioritize after we get done with Coordinate, which we're going to switch gears here for the closure of this call. But I'll get some events here on our calendar for this coming week. It's going to be a fun week. I think Mrs. Yonks and I are going to be rehoming up from Colorado up to Chicagoland here this next week. But we will figure that out, and it's we are full-time travelers, so that's not going to be out of the wheelhouse, but it is a little bit of a process, me packing up my dual monitor setup that I much prefer hosting these live streams on than my laptop. So anyway, we'll get that figured, and I'll put that as a next actions here for this agenda today. Next actions, determine when DAO Global Hackathon working groups will take place this week, and then Yonks schedule events, REtoken events for this week. So one of the other things real quick, again, as I'm planning on doing an airdrop here this evening. That's something that we're working on getting, and that's one of the reasons that we're prioritizing the Coordinate too, is so that some of this rewards distribution that we're doing will hopefully be done on a more automated basis, but much more importantly is laying a foundation for the scalability. We really believe that we, REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, can create the leading global security token brand for real estate tokenization, taking this community first approach that we are here. So do we have any other next actions that I haven't identified already via some separate Trello cards? Because I do know that we created a couple Trello cards on the research.
Is the website something that we are talking about or not now?
No, we're out of time wanting to get over to the Coordinate conversation. So let's.
No, I meant for the Trello card, not for the conversation.
Please clarify.
Never mind. I'll just ask you later.
Okay. So there's one of the next action items already created a trail card. So any final thoughts before we wrap this up and switch gears over to Coordinate?
I gotta go for a minute, but I'll be right back. Just let me know where the link for the Coordinate work is. I have to bring my brother to work. See you guys later.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Amy. And we'll have that just in the working groups channel on Discord there. Anybody else? Final thoughts before we call this a wrap for our core team planning call?
Nope, good call.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. If anybody's watching this online, and we're going to switch now from our live stream over to Discord to do some work on Coordinate. But looking forward to November's coming right around tomorrow, and have a good one.